Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webcast. My name is Jim Patterson with OnePlan, and I'll be your presenter today. Today's topic is how OnePlan aligns with Microsoft's new enterprise work management vision, coined the acronym of EWM. OnePlan has been a Microsoft project partner for a number of years, and a number of our people on our staff, a good percentage of them, have been in this market for many years. And we're consistently recognized as a market leader here, but Microsoft recognizes us for our global PPM leadership. In the last 5 years consecutive, we've either been named the winner or the finalist for their Global PPM Partner of the Year. And we're proud of that designation. We've been adding value for Microsoft and for its customers and helping them get success out of these technologies along the way. And we're also getting recognition from some of the industry analysts and review sites, et cetera, as well. And so we do this on a regular basis. This is what we do for a living. And I would say this, as we move through this alignment and the changing that we're going to talk about in Microsoft's approach to this marketplace, the Microsoft partners and other organizations that support this globally are also becoming OnePlan partners, so that the value-added things that OnePlan brings to the party, they can leverage those for their clients as well. So this is an ever-growing list, and every month we seem to add more partners to this in the global footprint. And just to let you know that it's not a one-man band. We basically have a lot of reach, both globally and with expertise through all these terrific partners as well. So Microsoft Project and Work Management, let's see where we've been. Like I said, I've been in this space for more than a couple decades now. And where we started, from a Microsoft perspective, is that Microsoft Project on the desktop, Microsoft Project Professional, over the years became pretty much the de facto, standalone scheduling tool out there in the marketplace, and became really the #1 option for people that were doing scheduling out there. And then to provide more multi-project portfolios of projects and more comprehensive views, Microsoft then introduced Microsoft Project Server, which then became Project Online in the cloud, to provide that type of portfolio management capability that leveraged the power of Microsoft Project on the back end for the execution pieces. Now, this has been around for quite some time. We'll talk about how Microsoft really announced a couple of years ago that it's no longer investing in future enhancements to this product. There was some talk about it having an end of service at some point in time, but that's not the case anymore. But they are not investing in this, and this is the kind of the former technology that'll still be available, but it's not the direction where Microsoft is headed and where they're putting their investment dollars. Now, there was a number of people who the sophistication of a Project Online and let's just say the rich capabilities of Microsoft Project Professional were maybe more than what some people needed, or potentially even intimidated some people who weren't dedicated project managers. And to that regard, Microsoft, got into the business of trying to provide lighter weight task and project management. And years ago, they came out in Office 365, Microsoft 365, with Microsoft Planner, which was a Kanban style task management tool that made things simple and easy, and easy for anybody to really get started. But it really didn't have any scheduling in there. There's no scheduling engine, there's no dependencies, there's no quantification of resources and such. So hence there was a gap. If the people that maybe needed robust capabilities on the right, people that had really light needs on the right side, on the left side, but in the middle there was a need to do something in between, and that's where they came out with Project for the Web. And Project for the Web was really designed to be more modern project management, simplified down, had a scheduling engine like Microsoft Project Online, so that you could do schedules and dependencies and all those types of things. But it took out of it a lot of the complexities of advanced features and functionalities that you had in Microsoft Project Professional, and which still exist today in Project Professional. But the idea there was to do the basics and address the needs of that occasional project manager, the uninitiated, not the someone that does that every day for a living, that maybe it's a side responsibility that they have. On top of that, Microsoft's had a bunch of task management tools in its different platforms, out there, whether it be, in Dynamics, whether it be in Office 365, whether it be in Project itself, whether it be in Azure DevOps with things like Azure Boards. There was all kinds of tasks and work items being created across the enterprise in Microsoft Shops. And it created kind of like disparate silos of information, made it hard to aggregate that stuff all together. And part of Microsoft's vision is to start bringing this more and more together. Now, Microsoft project management vision here was, to let teams work the way they want. Different projects are using different methodologies, different frameworks, different approaches, and the team should be able to use the tools and the approaches that make the most sense for the type of work that they're doing. But the enterprises still need to get the results that they need. Leadership still needs the information. They still need decision support and the types of things that they need to make the business run. But the disconnected apps and tools was making it hard to get this all done in a very cohesive and seamless fashion. Now, Microsoft Project for the Web was, as I said, that first foray into this new modern project management era. Coming out just a few years ago, it was designed to be a web-based tool to provide simple and powerful project management. As you can see, there's a Kanban board on this animated screen right now. You could work in a Kanban style, just a simple list or a grid view like you would in a spreadsheet almost, and timelines and Gantt chart views as well, to provide flexible things to do that, but with only the basics, not the more sophisticated things that you might need in Project Professional. So this was built on the Power Platform, where it's leveraging, the Dataverse on the back end as its database repository, as opposed to Project Online that was using a SharePoint-based foundation on the back end. And it could leverage Power Automate from a workflow and automation and connection perspective, and Power BI for reporting out of all that. So really going all in on this Power Platform, and Project for the Web was built on this foundation. So separate and different platform from what Project and Project Online was on. Now, some of the power in this is where Project Online could provide you portfolios of projects. Yes, you could use Project for the Web to just do your individual project management, and it's just data is being stored out in that Dataverse, and you could just do single projects at a time, like you see here on the left-hand side. But part of the power and the opportunity that's there with Dataverse was the fact that you could bring these things together with Power Apps and basically have things like a portfolio of projects to access that, maybe add different elements of data at the portfolio level. And that promise was now capable of doing that. And Power Apps being a low-code, no-code platform, which the opportunity there is for people to be able to build their own applications, that's all well and good, but not everybody has the appetite to start from scratch and build their own. So hence OnePlan, this is where, part of our earlier alignment was that we partnered with Microsoft, and they enlisted OnePlan to build an accelerator, an application in Power Apps for Project for the Web. It's gone some name changes. It was the Project Accelerator, PM Accelerator, PMO Accelerator, I think is what it was being called up to the latest. But it was developed to provide additional things like a portfolio level of projects and be able to capture project requests and maybe aggregate multiple projects into programs and such, and provide reporting at a portfolio level. And this is a start to do what I would call the basics in a crawl, walk, run approach. So in a crawl, right, you could use, and we look at the boxes on the left, you have Project for the Web in the green that would allow you to create projects and create tasks and schedules and those types of things. And there's a natural OData feed to create reports and dashboards in there in Power BI. And that's all well and good on an individual project basis. Now the accelerator, what it adds to the mix, and it's using in the purplish color here, is the ability to capture project requests, to aggregate those projects into programs or look at a portfolio view or a list of your projects. And then within each of those projects, because we're now at a portfolio level, we can start adding things like issue tracking, risk tracking, changes, status reports, etc., and still even add another layer or level of reporting on the Power BI side. But once again, this is the basics. It would give you a list of projects, the ability to access them, be able to do issues and risks, access to your Project for the Web schedules. And for many people, this is all they're looking for simple portfolio management. Now, OnePlan, having built the accelerator, looked for the opportunity and said, there's things that are in Project Online that weren't in the accelerator, things that the analysts are saying many people are looking for in the project and portfolio management realm. So OnePlan can be added to this accelerator, and that's how we aligned with this stage of its development so that we can come in and add additional capabilities. So if you think about this, here I'm showing right now all the things that the accelerator with Project for the Web provided. Now OnePlan in kind of like I say, a next phase of advancement, in a walk phase we'll call it, can add things more like strategy and strategy execution and alignment, more detailed portfolio views, prioritization and what if scenario modeling, detailed time phase financials, detailed time phase resource capacity planning. We added a My Work area where people can update all their tasks in one place when it wasn't available, and a timesheet, which isn't available in this either, where many organizations have a need to report time for capitalizing labor, for charging back, for billing clients, etc. So then in this walk phase, there's a whole layer in the blue that OnePlan was aligned with the accelerator to seamlessly provide these capabilities in that solution. So the types of capabilities in the accelerator, as I mentioned, more robust portfolio planning with graphical things in multi-dimensions, resource plans across all of the resources being planned in different ways, detailed financial plans with different cost categories and cost tracking, the ability to harness schedules from Microsoft Project and or Azure DevOps, for example, and the ability to do a My Work and a timesheets realm such that you can capture those things in a way that aren't native to that base accelerator platform, let alone some insights and some AI-based analysis of the tools that are going on out there. Now, if we want to take this another step further, which what I'll call in this case a run phase, take all these additional capabilities that are available, and then potentially the accelerator is designed strictly to support Project for the Web, the lighter weight scheduling tool. Well, what if people have more robust schedules in their Microsoft Project Professional? What if they're doing more agile projects in something like an Azure DevOps? Well, OnePlan provides the connector capability to leverage the plans from those data alongside the Project for the Web plans to provide what we call more of an adaptive project and portfolio management with multiple tools, multiple methodologies, etc. And OnePlan would enable that solution, extending that Project for the Web and its accelerator to provide all of this in a run stage. Now let's take this another step further. The use of the Microsoft execution tools, in this case, Project for the Web, it provides what it provides at its core: projects, tasks, schedules, and some reports and dashboards around that. We now have a model where OnePlan, in conjunction with, say, Viva Goals from Microsoft that allows strategy, planning, and execution, allows us to use OnePlan more broadly as the portfolio management platform that would actually leverage the use of any of your Microsoft execution tools. So for example, instead of having the execution tools, an accelerator, and then OnePlan in the accelerator, OnePlan can provide the full portfolio management capabilities around all the execution tools. Now in this example, I'm just showing Project for the Web on the right-hand side on the icon. But just like before, we could leverage Microsoft Project Professional, Project for the Web, Azure DevOps, Planner, other things in here that can all come into a common portfolio instead of just homogeneously having to use just Project for the Web. So hence this next generation and this next wave of what Microsoft has been announcing over recent weeks. The task and project management tools, if we think about the modern tools, they had Microsoft To Do, Microsoft Planner, Project for the Web. And in the first incantation of this, the initial consolidation of this, in Teams, Microsoft provided tasks by Planner and To Do, so that anything that you created in To Do or pulled into To Do, and then things that you created in Planner could then be leveraged within a single application within Microsoft Teams, so that you can see, plan, update, status, all those things in one place. But Project for the Web was not initially included in that. It was still a separate entity and really didn't have a task update tool for all your different projects within that at that point. Now, the next stage of consolidation that's been announced is that we're bringing that all together, Microsoft is, and they announced the new Microsoft Planner. So on top of just technologically bringing those things together, there's a rebranding happening. So the announcement of a new Microsoft Planner is there to provide one simple, familiar experience for task and project management. We'll talk a little bit about what that means. First is to manage all your tasks and plans in one simple, familiar experience. That means all your work in one place, in one tool set. Flexible the way you want to work. Scalable, power your plans big and small. And then intelligent, because more and more Microsoft is interjecting Copilot and the AI aspect of things into this tool set. Now, Microsoft has introduced this, and if you haven't seen this before, I'm going to take a moment to play this this short video, and I'm going to share this video on the new Microsoft Planner.
The new Planner app in Microsoft Teams, coming in early 2024, allows you to see all of your work across Microsoft 365 in a single location. Keeping intelligence at its core, Planner also includes the power of AI with new Copilot features to help you get started and stay on top of all of your work. In Planner, you have the freedom to create different types of plans based on the complexity of your projects. Start with a basic plan for your simple projects using the Planner experience included in Microsoft 365, or create a premium plan for enhanced project management capabilities like task dependencies, goal setting, and additional customizations. Get started using one of the templates like Project Budget, Sprint Retrospective, or Goals and Objectives, or start with a blank plan to create any plan that you need. For now, let's start with a basic plan just for yourself. Here, you can plan out your own work, like a career plan or a personal to-do list, or start drafting work for an upcoming team project, like a marketing campaign. All of the tasks are visible in the different views. Grid view to see tasks in a simple list, board view to see tasks grouped by different fields, schedule view to see when each task will be worked on, or charts view to get a quick understanding of your plan's progress. When you need to share with others, you can easily do so by adding team members to the plan, or if you have an existing group, simply add that group. Once the plan is shared, it's simple to assign work to the correct people so everyone can quickly get started on their tasks. The Planner app in Microsoft Teams is designed to grow with you, so if you discover that you need additional functionality beyond what's offered in a basic plan, it's easy to try out premium features. In just a few clicks, you can get started using a premium template and get access to all premium capabilities. With premium plans, you also have access to the power of AI with Copilot, which can help you save time by creating relevant tasks quickly. Simply tell Copilot what you would like to accomplish, and it will add a set of tasks to your plan. Premium plans also give you access to a range of advanced project management capabilities, like goal setting, so everyone knows what you are working towards and how their work will have impact. You can also set dependencies between your tasks and see the full timeline for your project in a Gantt chart format, which includes the critical path for your plan. Organize your tasks into sprints to manage work in an agile way. Easily load balance work across your team using People View. And customize your plan by adding custom fields to tasks, conditional coloring on the grid view, and even set custom working calendars so tasks are only scheduled on the days you work. You can easily find any of your plans in the My Plans page, where all of your plans will be organized for easy access. For even quicker discovery, pin your favorite plans so you can open them from anywhere within the app. You can also quickly see all the work that is assigned to you by heading to the My Tasks page, where there is a list of tasks you are responsible for, no matter where they were assigned to you in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Finally, use the My Day view to stay focused on what you need to accomplish today. Here, you will see any tasks that are due the same day, along with any tasks that you choose to add, so you remember to stay focused on them. And for frontline organizations, Planner offers task publishing to centrally define tasks, quickly distribute work at scale, and monitor results across your organization. To learn more about how Planner can help serve frontline organizations, visit aka.ms/task publishing in Planner. Using the new power of Copilot to get started on a new project faster than ever, and with all of your tasks in one place, it's never been easier to stay organized and on top of your work. Whether you need simple task management tools or advanced project management capabilities, Planner is the one-stop shop for organization and collaboration.
The new Planner experience in Microsoft Teams is generally available now, and it should have been rolling out to different customers' tenants over recent weeks in order to have that available. So the new Planner is out there, and there is later in 2024, the new Planner web experience that's going to be available just generally in the browser will come later this year, according to Microsoft. Now, Copilot in Planner is the chat experience in Microsoft 365 and Power Platform are generally available today and early in 2024, and I think there is some preview available now that allows you to experience the use of Copilot in Microsoft Teams and in the conjunction with the new Planner. And the Copilot and Planner web experience, like the application itself, is expected to be generally available later in 2024. So just to set the expectations on timing for those things. Now, Microsoft's vision, as we talked about earlier on, a lot of this is focused, and a lot of the effort now is focused on what they're calling collaborative work management, where the combination of Planner and Teams will give you the ability to provide collaborative task and project management, and the addition and the use of Copilot will, make it more intelligent in that regard. And some of the storage of Dataverse and that type of things to the advantage of that we talked about earlier on. Now, this enterprise work management, the basis of this today, from a Microsoft native perspective, we're looking at the new Planner and the Accelerator, which we talked about, to provide some basic portfolio management capabilities, to provide that enterprise work management capability, to take that to the next level. Now, we're going to talk about some ways that we can extend that. So the future of Microsoft project and portfolio management really is, using the Microsoft Cloud as its platform, okay, with all the security and compliance that goes with that. But the collaborative work management, if we think about that being the new Planner and Teams and the use of Office 365, this allows us to do this collaborative work management. Now, Planner is just the basic Planner. Planner Premium is now the new branding for Project for the Web. So what was formerly Project for the Web is now being called Planner Premium. And then Office 365 users who have E3 or E5 capabilities actually have the ability to participate in this planning exercise collaboratively by being able to provide their updates on tasks, et cetera, just with an Office 365 license. Now, if we're going to take this up to enterprise work management, I have in a little gray out here Project Online because that's still available, but that is not the future direction where Microsoft is going. So if you're looking at putting together something and standing up something new, you might want to look more seriously at the more modern capabilities. And this is where we could use Planner Premium plus the Accelerator, but then extend those capabilities into more robust enterprise work management capabilities by putting the OnePlan extensions into that mix and extending the Microsoft offering. Now, if you want to go into what's called strategic portfolio management with strategies and strategic alignment and a bunch of other types of things we'll talk about, the OnePlan can add that to the mix uniquely, but still leverage the Microsoft execution tools that we've been talking about all along. So all along, OnePlan is aligned with this Microsoft direction and Microsoft strategy and can help you where you're at with those tools natively or with the extensions that will be required to meet your requirements in some cases. So what are those capabilities? Well, OnePlan has the strategy to do OKRs and not only do strategic execution, but align them with your projects. Enterprise architecture lightly, we can either integrate with your existing enterprise architecture repository, or we can have other portfolios in here that might be application portfolios, product portfolios, business capability portfolios, et cetera, that come into play in your strategic portfolio management capabilities. And just ideation and requests so that we can have a portal where people can put in ideas, requests, have them vetted, and potentially become projects or initiatives in your solution. To that end, OnePlan does provide more flexible with additional capabilities of portfolio planning, whether it be kind of rich list views with a lot of color and views and Gantts, or maybe a Kanban style portfolio view for more of the agile oriented people that do things like program increment planning. And then there's roadmap views that are natural output of this process, all at the portfolio level. The capacity planning gives us the ability in much detail to determine whether or not we have the resources and the capacity and the skill sets to deliver on the things that we're committing to. Financial planning, all the detailed cost categories and cost account codes and cost types that you can put into financial planning. What if scenario modeling, to be able to look at alternative scenarios before you implement them in OnePlan, something that is additional to what you would find, say, for example, in the Accelerator. Now, on the execution side, we have planning tools or a place for the planning tools in OnePlan, but we can bring in the new Planner, we can bring in Microsoft Project, we can bring in other tool sets like Azure DevOps or Jira, et cetera, to leverage that data and roll it up into that portfolio for common visibility across the board. including doing our issues, risks, changes, et cetera, within that. And the individual resource planning and the resource negotiation that has to happen, that would all roll up into this bigger capacity plan in the prior section, is all available. And I mentioned timesheets in the My Work area as well. Now, reporting, whether it be project-specific status reports that are configurable, that are a natural output, dashboards that might be at the portfolio level, down at the program level, all the way down to the execution level in Power BI, those are available, as well as visualizations on how all this stuff interrelates. The idea is to basically successfully complete the initiatives that we have and deliver the value that we're intended to deliver. Now, artificial intelligence, we're going to talk about Copilot from Microsoft, but OnePlan has its own purpose-built, dedicated for OnePlan, Sophia GPT, that can help in this regard and leverage AI in this enterprise work management realm. The whole idea here is to use whatever tools that you need to do the right work, select the right things to work on, and then be able to execute them well and do it right. Now, these connectors that I'm talking about, these are not custom coded one-off connectors. OnePlan, its OneConnect capability, has out-of-the-box pre-built connectors that allow you to, depending on your needs, enable the ones that make the most sense for you. On the Microsoft side, whether it be Azure DevOps, whether it be the new Planner or Project, whether it be Dynamics, whether it be Viva Goals, these are things that we can leverage the data you're already using in your Microsoft toolset and extend it with the capabilities that OnePlan provides. Now, on top of integrating, OnePlan fuses into the tools that you work in every day. We've talked about the Power Apps and how OnePlan can be consumed right within a Power App. It could be consumed in the Accelerator, but other Power Apps as well. It could be consumed right in Microsoft Teams. It is an authorized Microsoft Teams application, so you can actually enable it in general within Teams or specifically within certain teams or channels. There is the ability to do it in Azure DevOps, so you can use OnePlan's capabilities while you're in Azure DevOps. Same thing with Dynamics, same things with SharePoint. So the idea here is the user experience can keep you from leaving the tools that you work in every day and minimize the task switching that happens today from different tools and different silos. And Sophia is really AI. You know, you hear a lot about AI today, but this is purpose-built specifically for portfolio management. And it is built in Microsoft's Azure OpenAI. So it's got all the security, compliance, and privacy that it's provided as opposed to what ChatGPT provides in the open internet. And it provides analysis, help in data entry and creation of elements within that. And we'll talk about that a little bit through the presentation as well. So with that, I'd like to just go into a demonstration. This will be very high level today, just to get you an idea of what's there, and happy to engage with you to kind of go into more detail, over time. The project for the web that we've had here for a while that's transitioning to be Planner Premium, this, the project home where you could get into individual project plans is something that was available to us, at any given point in time. And you could come in into individual projects and work with that. And I'll focus our time on this particular tool within the context of the new Planner Premium that we're going to talk about. If we go and look at, grids and board views and timelines and, charts and et cetera, that capability is all available, and that's all being carried forward into the new branding and Planner Premium as we move forward. Now, the Project Accelerator. This is where you can take, going into individual project plans and bring it up to another level. So let's say, for example, the Power App, which is the Accelerator, this is here. And notice now, I can actually, in Power Apps, the Accelerator allows us, as we save our project for the web plans, creates a list or a portfolio of projects that you can group and summarize in different views. So you can have different views of active projects or different columns of data that you're going to show here at any given point in time. And if you drill into any specific project, instead of just having a schedule, you can have data and metadata to categorize your projects and capture information around those things. You can actually then access, the project for the web plan right from within the Accelerator, but the schedule itself that we just showed you in looking at Microsoft Project for the Web directly allowed us to use this in the context of other things that are in there, like issues, risks, changes, and other things that you might want to have in there. But the idea there is that it provides basic capabilities in here. And then I'll just show real briefly, if you were to add OnePlan into this accelerator, notice that we have more items on the navigation side of things here. But before I get there, let's go in here and look at the fact that if I drill into a specific plan, we could, in addition to just the summary and the tasks, issues, and risks, notice that we're adding more time-phased data capabilities here, like being able to look at resource plans that are more time-phased and more detailed around your project, and be able to plan in terms of hours or FTEs or whatever it might be able to look for candidates that might be available to replace overloaded resources, and detailed financial plans that you might want to look at here that has your budgets and your maybe revised forecasts and your actuals and those types of things as we go through. So at its simplest, we could just add those capabilities right into the accelerator. Now, we also have an analyzer in here, which lets you leverage OnePlan's more robust views of the portfolio items that we have in here and allow you to structure them in a variety of different ways. So as we look in here from within the accelerator, if you look here, I've got a plan type hierarchy that has programs and projects. They're all linked to Project for the Web plans here, so the details of the plans are still here. But I could also then do things in here like say, let me gauge this against the overall resource capacity plan or the financial planning that's available here as well, and be able to look at this in a variety of different ways, like portfolio boards, like portfolio roadmap views, etc., and be able to look at them in a variety of different ways. So once again, that's available just as an addition to the accelerator. And as we talked about, things like our timesheet can be brought to bear right within the accelerator as well. So enough about where Microsoft has been, but this is just to demonstrate that we've been in alignment with Microsoft's journey on this all the way, and we're adding value and helping people deploy this in successful ways across the enterprise. Now, if I go into an example of the new planner where we have the combined Planner and Planner Premium, formerly Project for the Web. Let me go into Planner real quick. And Planners here, as you can see, is an icon on the left-hand side. And notice that I've got a combination of plans here. I got a place to see all my tasks and all those types of things. But this new Planner Premium that's available here, which is part of the Planner suite, if you're licensed for Planner Premium, allows me, notice how this looks very familiar to what Project for the Web capabilities we're providing outside of just Planner, right here within these capabilities. It would actually have your project board views. Now, once again, this is down at the execution task level, not at the portfolio level like I showed you in OnePlan. Timeline views, if you're going to look and work with Gantt and such, and your charting and your assignments and your goals, etc., right? Those abilities are all available to you here right within the new planner, only available to you right now within Teams, okay? So as you go through here, you can go look at existing plans, you can create new plans, and as you saw in the video, depending on whether you have a Planner Basic or Planner Premium, certain templates, would be available to you in a premium mode that you can use and have templates to work with, etc. And the idea there would be that you can structure those things in the context of Teams and have things in your tasks all roll into one place. I would say this, Copilot, which I currently have in preview mode here, this is going to be, coming pervasive in all the Microsoft applications and Microsoft areas, and they're rapidly developing in this area. But I'll give you an example where, let's just say you started a plan from scratch here and I wanted to set some goals in the goals area here. There's a question that I asked and says, create goals to grow the business. And I did this prior to the webinar just to save a little bit of time, but the goals that were created for this particular project right here: increase customer satisfaction by 15%, expand into new markets, increase market share, modernize all, was created by Copilot. Instead of me having to formulate this from scratch, it gave me some ideas for some good goals that I could add, and I could modify these or add to them, etc. Once again, just making my ability to do these things much more streamlined and quick, and make me much more effective in what I'm doing. When we talked about, OnePlan as the portfolio management platform that can leverage all of these Microsoft tools, OnePlan has connectors for Planner and Project for the Web, or Planner Basic and Planner Premium. So those can be folded into the mix here. But notice in my portfolio, I've got a plan type hierarchy here that goes much more in depth. I got portfolio levels, program levels, projects, and then I've got epics and features and things like that for more agile projects. And notice as I expand out this portfolio, I've got color-coded KPIs. I've got views that I can take in here. And I've got different list views and board views and things that I can show that I flashed at you earlier on. But I'd like to call your attention to the fact, in a more adaptive portfolio management mode, notice where I have Project Professional is feeding one of these plans. Project for the Web is feeding one of these plans. Jira or Azure DevOps or Planner is feeding these. These are all enabled connectors that can feed into a holistic portfolio that can bring all this stuff together, okay? And the idea here would be to be able to bring that stuff together in a way that makes sense for everybody. Now, each individual user can come into their own homepage and get those insights I talked about earlier on, things that require your attention, access to plans that you specifically have access to that you're working on, so you don't have to navigate through an entire portfolio of projects to get to those, and be able to get to different pieces of those plans right here. Conversations on tasks and resources and plans that are available to you here, the most recent ones that require your attention, calling your attention to things that might be overdue, etc. Ideas, be able to feed those in so that as you go in the ideation area, you can come in and just look at things and submit requests all the way through here. You know, basically capture the data elements and create a business case for these types of things to be reviewed and scored and prioritized as we go through here. And as we get through that, we can actually come through here and even provide voting and crowdsourcing on this stuff so that people can vote and not only prioritize, but vote on the sentiment on these types of things as well as we go through this ideation process. And they can, from this place, be promoted to projects with the right workflow and or permissions so that you can promote and reorganize these things and promote them to projects and work on them very seamlessly that way. Okay. Now, back to the portfolio, you know, the things that actually became initiatives and projects and epics that we're going to work on. If I drill into the work planner project, there's a number of different dimensions here that we can use that can be used in lieu of the accelerator, but still use the Microsoft planning tools that we know and love. So for example, here, a details page that captures all the relevant details about the project and even gives us snapshots of the current state of the project as we go on through here. And these are configurable forms as well as your life cycle and things that you'd like to have. The work plan itself, as we go through here, right within the work plan, we have, just like we have plan types up at the portfolio level, we have work types. We can do schedules, we can do backlogs and sprint plans, we can do risks, issues, changes, log key decisions, etc. But one thing I'd like to call your attention to in these work plans is that the source of this data could be just one plan, but the connectors that you enable could all be available to bring in data from these other tools like Project for the Web and Planner or the new Planner Basic or Planner Premium, and leverage those as the source of these as we go on through. So the idea here is that we have flexible capabilities on the work planning side. We also have detailed resource plans that allow us to plan in terms of hours or FTEs or percentages of allocation and understand where people are at. And if somebody is actually over allocated, instead of looking at it on a project by project basis like it does in Planner Premium by itself, it always has its eye on the total capacity plan across all plans within the portfolio. So once again, allowing us to get that type of perspective. And then the financials, being able to build financial plans that actually allow us to track different types, budgets, revised forecasts, actuals, track revenue and benefits, and compare them as we go on through in detailed cost categories that we decide what that level is, okay? And then on the reporting side, being able to do, you know, status reports, being able to visualize how these things relate across the rest of the solution. So for example, I have no real precedence dependencies, but I can also see though that this thing is related to strategies that I have in here and objectives and key results, which are also related to different products and applications that we have to consider as we embark upon this project or as we try to succeed with this particular project. So once again, enhanced capabilities beyond what you get with the basic accelerator, okay? So as we go in and look at these different plans, if I was going to go into a plan and say, you know, Project for the Web here, and I wanted to just open up, say, the work plan for this project for the web plan. And I can see that it's showing the tasks here in a simple plan here in OnePlan itself, but the source is actually coming from an active connection to Project for the Web. And if I go to open the source, the Project for the Web, that connection knows where that's at and actually lets me to go in and update those things. But what it's doing is it's syncing that data with OnePlan dynamically and then rolling that data up as needed into the portfolio. The same thing holds true with Microsoft Project Professional. So say, for example, I was going to have this Project Professional plan. Essentially, it's connected to a Microsoft Project Professional plan. Now, much like you're used to doing within Project Online today, because this is a desktop tool and it is a fat client application, it allows us to open up Microsoft Project from the plan where it's at, and we connect to that on a dynamic basis. We have an actual connector that actually connects into here, that whatever your Microsoft Project planning data is, allows us to come in and actually update those. So, for example, if I go in here, go into the OnePlan connector piece, you can publish this data to OnePlan, and you can receive updates back from OnePlan into this plan as people update timesheets and my work and those types of things as they go on through. And so the idea here is that these connectors will allow us to update the plans that we see that are in here. And we do the same thing with things like Azure DevOps. If you have Agile folks that are doing software development, for example, as I go through here and I look at Azure DevOps, it's basically going to take me to the Azure DevOps epic that we're aligned with in that portfolio. And I'd like to call your attention just to a couple things. Those of you familiar with Azure DevOps, notice that not only do we have OnePlan additions in here where you can access the OnePlan capabilities right while you're in Azure DevOps, I can look at specific data in OnePlan to see what's synchronized over there, and I can access that in here without ever leaving Azure DevOps. So for example, as I come through here and I want to look at the capabilities that you don't have in there, well, first I can see what items in the backlog, for example, are already synced over there, and actually see what's been synced over into OnePlan. The resource planning data, which you don't have in Azure DevOps, is available. The financial plan that we talked about, that's available in Azure DevOps. The detail pages, etc., or the timesheet, or whatever else you might want to get to, all available through this Fuse UI capability that I talked about in the slides. Okay. Now, overall, we talked about resource plans, and I showed you a resource plan from within an individual project. But the aggregate of that, it all comes together in one plan that gives us the ability, beyond what you get individually on a project-by-project basis within Planner Premium Project for the Web, is the ability to look at your resource plan in here and look at people that might be overloaded and where they're coming from and what things that they're on that are driving that over allocation, right, as we go through. And then as we look at it, I can even look at it by, let's just say we aggregate this not by a list of resources, but by roles. And if I look at the roles here and I go into, say, the developer role, and I can go in here and I could see, hey, I've still got generic developer assignments on here that I haven't put names to yet. What if I wanted to find who to put onto this product launch, right? And I wanted to look at finding the best match for things and find out on this product launch that's out here who has availability. It looks like Toby Stevens has availability and some green out in this time frame. I could then replace that generic with Toby Stevens. I can also do the same thing with overloaded named individual resources in here as well. So I've got my eye on the ball and precludes me from overloading people unnecessarily as I go through here. Now, the modeler that allows us to do what if scenario planning, we talked about that earlier on, and to extend that and provide this capability, there was some of this capability in Project Online, but to extend this, to be able to go in here and create models of potential projects and requests that you may want to decide to embark upon and decide what is the best solution for something like this, right? You can go into these models and you can actually open them up. So here, a potential bunch of candidates, 44 of them are in here, of active, on hold, and proposed projects that are in here. And I must maybe decide which ones I'm going to do. There's prioritization scores in here and all kinds of things that you have in here. But I might have constraints, and I might want to say, what's it going to take from a resource perspective, and be able to see that, there's a bunch of red in there. I probably can't do this. I got to whittle this down, and I might want to look at the financials around that as well. But as I go through this, I might want to say, have a scenario that say maybe $10 million is my limit of what I can spend on these discretionary projects. And I can deselect and unselect projects till I get down to a limit, or I could potentially, put a Gantt chart up here where I can also time phase these things up such that I can, drag out ones that are maybe potentially proposed and say, yeah, we'd like to do this, but we want to delay it out a little bit of time in order to make that happen. And we can save different scenarios as we go through here and alternatives to see the mix. The key here is that we can compare them. We can look at the different scenarios and see which ones provide us the parameters that we want within budget, the benefits that we might want. In this particular case, it tells me spending $5 million more, finding $5 million more would allow me to do 10 more projects and achieve $20 million more in benefit. Might be worth my time to go get that. I might want to go look and see, what this means from a financial perspective, right? I might want to look and see from a bubble chart what that looks like, and see, okay, what have we selected on the prioritization versus benefit score? Where do these things fit? Did we select the right things? And the ones we didn't select, are there things that we overlooked? So once again, there's more capabilities in here than I have time to go over today, but the idea here is this what if capability is very, very strong. I showed you quick alignment to some enterprise architecture elements in here. Things like products and applications. Well, these are portfolios that we can keep within here. And we can manage them, and we can align them with our projects, and we can align them with our strategies and such. And the strategies that we have in here can allow us to get those things, making sure that we're working on the right things. I think before we leave, I'd like to show you just a little example of Sophia GPT. And let me go back to the ideas here. And let me go to the ideas and requests, and let me go to a prioritization view that has our prioritization parameters in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask it some analysis questions. So I've got all these things to consider. Most organizations have more ideas and requests than they know what to do with. I'm going to call up Sophia here in the lower right, and Sophia is going to have a bunch of typical questions you can ask it at any given point in time to give you some ideas, but I'm going to put a different one in. I'm going to say, based on priority and ROI, what 3 projects should we approve first and why? So give me the top ones based upon what you see here of what it is that we should probably choose. And as it's thinking, it's taking in not everything it knows about the world from Azure OpenAI, what it also has been trained on the OnePlan solution and the capabilities within it. It's also looking at the data that's live on your screen to factor in those parameters into its decision. It's not learning or storing that data, it's just leveraging that in making its assessment and giving you the response to the prompts that you give it. So once again, it says based on priority and ROI, it's saying the cybersecurity audit one should be number 1. It's giving us the metrics and the ROI, it's giving us high prioritization, and it's saying it's crucial investment for the company for risk reduction. Voice assistant integration, it's saying that the numbers work out well and it'll improve the company's product offerings, making it a valuable project to invest in to enhance all of our products, etc. But you get the idea. And the idea is that there's all kinds of use cases for Sophia as we go through here. And we've done some webinars on that specifically if you want to go look into our library. All right, with that, I think I will go back to the presentation, talk about summaries and next steps. So what we discussed is that OnePlan has been aligned and has enhanced and deployed the Microsoft project offerings for many years, and we continue to do so. We try to be in lockstep with where they're going and find out the best ways that we can make that successful and enhance those things. Now, Microsoft is now in the process of reimagining and combining Project for the Web and Planner, and Microsoft is really focusing on that collaborative work management dimension right now of that whole vision. And OnePlan provides a platform and services that extend the new Microsoft Planner to provide full enterprise work management project portfolio management, and even strategic portfolio management capabilities. And OnePlan integrates with other solutions as needed to make and round out your solution to meet your requirements. Now, OnePlan itself is also delivered from the Microsoft Cloud, so it is a Microsoft Cloud-based deployment through and through. And we can provide the solution, services, migration, and support to ensure your transition, value, and overall success. We do have the ability to support you, and we're happy to engage and chaperone you through trials. Up on AppSource, OnePlan has the PPM Accelerator, the accelerator up there if you want to try it. It is also available if you're licensed to it from GitHub that you can actually leverage there. But if you go to appsource.com and search on OnePlan or PPM Accelerator, you'll find that there and can download it. Takes a little bit of enabling, so if you want some support on that, please reach out to us. But also the OnePlan capabilities, you can do a trial and go to oneplan.ai/solutions, or also you can find it up on AppSource. And if you want the most full capability version of that, go get our strategic portfolio management trial. Once again, we're happy to support you and chaperone you on that as well to make sure you get the most value out of it. So we can actually, support you on OnePlan trials and Microsoft trials. We also offer a free roadmap workshop. So if you're thinking, okay, I've got part of this stuff in place, how do I get from point A to point B? We're happy to schedule a roadmap workshop for you to learn a little bit more about where you're at, where you'd like to get to, and what it would take to get you there. Because we also provide that service as well as migration services if you need to migrate data. And we've done that successfully for many, many organizations. Now, if you're not quite there and you just want a more detailed demo, a personalized one-on-one demo, just reach out to us at contact@oneplan.ai, and we're happy to schedule that for you and actually tailor it to your particular needs and pain points and requirements. Or if you're not even there yet and you want to just look at us more, go to www.oneplan.ai and research us on our website. Overall, I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your valuable days to see OnePlan, to see how we align with the Microsoft vision on enterprise work management. Hopefully I gave you some information here that you'll find helpful. When we think about this hub, I've been kind of showing these things that bring it all together into one common hub of portfolio and program and project and management and execution data. We call that the power of one at OnePlan. And we hope you can leverage the power of one. Have a great day.